And greetings and welcome to the QCast. This is season 5, episode 49. And we are now kind of in that great time of year where we're heading into the postseason. So we're just about to head into conference tournament time. Every league except the UAA, that is, UAA has one more round of regular season games, but time for conference tournaments. And then very shortly after that, it's time for the NCAA tournament. Really excited today to have another member of the Illinois Wesleyan men's basketball team with me. And this is a big one, literally. 6'10, 240-pound senior forward Harrison Wilmsen, a product of St. Louis, Missouri. Harry, it's great to finally have you on the QCast. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Bob. I really appreciate you having me. It means a lot.
Well, I've been looking forward to this, Harry. So let's first start out with the not fun topic, which is that game yesterday in Rock Island. It was a game that felt weird to me from the beginning. Watching it on a stream from far away, you could tell that you could tell there was a lot of energy in the Carver Center. It was senior day. They had a huge senior class, a lot of pride on the line. You could tell the crowd was charged up. I could tell from 900 miles away that it was a very difficult atmosphere. Let's first talk about that. Like, what was the energy like in the gym? And then we'll kind of go from there.
The energy was definitely there. You could tell it meant a lot to Augustana men's basketball, and it was honestly a great atmosphere to play in. It's the atmosphere you dream of playing in. It was a packed crowd. The student section was going wild. But credit to Augustana, they laid their heart on the lines, and they ultimately deserved to win. We made a lot of mistakes. We shot ourselves in the foot. But those are a good group of guys. They deserve to win. They've been through a lot, and they played better than us. So that's what happens in the CCIW when you're on the road.
Yeah, talk about that, Harrison, because I'm sure that around the country people are looking at this like that was an upset. And being around the league so long, like when we were going to Augie yesterday, I was thinking like, gosh, if we could just find a way to win that game. Like I didn't view that as a game that we were necessarily like a huge favorite, maybe a little favorite, because you go on the road in the league to these great programs, and I say programs because you have a program in Augustana that's historically the second best program in the league to Illinois Wesleyan. If you just took all the years of the league, they've had unbelievable success. They have a group that's proud there. Talk about going on the road in the league and how hard that is.
It's hard, and I respect every team in the league so much. Their coaching staffs, the players. It's really a joy and a blessing to be able to compete on them on the court. But Augie is a historic program, and we know that. That's not something we shy away from not knowing. They were, they ran D3 for a while. If you look 10 years ago, they were Final Four back-to-back years. And credit to Coach Delp. He's really, I know the seniors in my grade who are at Augie have had, somewhat of a difficult past 4 years with all the coaching changes. But they put together a really good, solid senior year. I respect all of them. They're true competitors. It's an honor to compete against them. And it was an honor to go into Carver last night and go on the road in the CCIW and play a really physical, hard fought CCIW match. But it's always when you're on the road in the CCIW, you have to play like it's your last game because that's ultimately, the how you have to compete against these historic teams and great coach teams. But yeah, Augustana definitely played their hearts out and left it on the line, and they deserve to win that game.
It's funny. We were on the other side of those a few times where Augie under Coach G was having those great runs, and a few times in there we knocked them off. When they were coming into the Shirk Center as favorites, and similar situation, right? It's just that's how things go in good leagues on the road.
Yep.
In terms of the game itself, it seemed like we were right there. I can point to like 5 moments where I'm like, hey, I think Trey had a three in the right corner that would have cut it to one, just kind of
Mm-hmm.
went in and out. And there was many of these moments where had they missed a shot, had we done this, a lot of back and forth. Did you guys feel, Harry, like you were so close to being right there and kind of finally getting over the hump in that game?
Yeah, definitely. It felt like there are a lot of moments in that game where it was just if we can get one more stop or a kill, which is like 3 stops, then we're right there and we can really break away with it. But they hit tough after tough after tough shots. They were physical. They played, tenacious defense. They attacked the boards. Nothing was easy. And that's what it comes down to. Who's willing to give more, who's willing to lay their heart on the line. And, a lot, I think last night it was IWU versus IWU, even though they played so well, but we just shot ourselves in the foot so many times. And it's a great learning lesson for us as we're about to go into such an exciting time of the year. So yeah, it's really a valuable lesson to the older guys, the younger guys, to the IWU team as a whole, to sharpen up because it's about to be kill or be killed.
And we'll get into that for sure. I want to first talk about like where we are, because look, when the season started, if you told me we'd be 20-5 sitting here heading into the conference tournament, I think I'd say that's an incredible season. 20-5 against the schedule that you played. You think back on some of these wins that are huge, the wins over Platteville, Wash U, Cal Lutheran, Chicago, some of the wins in the league. It's really been a great season. And I know you're sitting there thinking, gosh, if we could have this game or that game back. But how do you evaluate where you are, Harrison, right now, sitting here 20-5 as you go into the conference tournament?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a fantastic year. I've told this team this is the most fun I've ever had with a group of guys in my 4 years at IWU. The relationships, the personal connection, the growth we've had. And then for us seniors, just, this is our last go around and the growth we've had over the past 4 years. It's just been insane to watch, kind of like the dots connect of our past to lead us to this moment. But I think this is no doubt a special team. And, you look back 5 losses, they were all, they all fall on our shoulders because, we shot ourselves in the foot most of those games in critical moments. But that's what it's about. This is now, we're 20-5, we're sitting good. And now this is, how you determine if, the team has the it factor. Are they going to shy away from pressure or are they going to, shine? And I think, we're going to shine. We have, a special group of guys, really talented, really hardworking, dedicated. And I think it's going to be really exciting because I think, the pieces are aligning.
There's a photo that I love from your freshman year, and it's from the Yeshiva game, and it's the final moments of the game, and it's you and Nick Roper and Akeem and Shane. None of you played in that game. I'm not sure if you got in at all, but I always look at that like this incredible senior class that has done so much didn't even get off the bench in one of the biggest games your freshman year. Talk about what it's been like to go from, as a freshman getting in a little bit. I want to say in the NCAA tournament, I remember the lacrosse game. Like you got in there and played some valuable minutes behind Matt Larrett. But talk about going from, battling for time as a freshman to now sort of being the guy as a senior. What's that process been like?
It's an insane journey. And I will tell you, it is the definition of uncertainty with human behavior because you do not know how everything is going to unfold. But as a freshman, I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better group of seniors. Matt, Corey, Pete, Gav, they were incredible. They were incredible. They welcomed us. They treated us like their own. They showed us the ropes and they pushed us really hard. And after that year, we all looked at each other and we're like, this is how it's supposed to be. This is what we're going to be when we're seniors. And then we had just 2 years of a journey of finding ourselves, finding the why we all play, through the wins, the losses. Sophomore year was tough for a lot of us. Rope broke his foot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of external variables that were at play. And then junior year, we kind of got it clicking. We won the CCIW outright. Then we ultimately, lost one too many games, lost the CCIW tournament. And that's when we were like, every game matters. You go into every game thinking it's killed or be killed. Every game matters, no matter if in the beginning of the season or in the end of the season. And that's kind of where we're at now. Us 6 seniors, I've had 4 years of incredible growth and incredible journey. learning so many valuable lessons. And now, we're the guys, and now the younger guys look up to us, and we can, help them on their journey. Instill confidence, instill, motivation, dedication to the sport, to IWU. So it's really special. It's what makes IWU this incredible journey. And I'm so blessed because now the journey is so clear. But the future remains, it's yet to be written, but it should be special.
So let's talk about the future, because now the slate really gets wiped clean. If you think about it, is that we head into the conference tournament now. And what we know is that the conference tournament starts Tuesday, and there are two games. So the 6 seed North Central plays the 3 seed North Park, and the 4 seed Elmhurst plays the 5 seed Augie. I hope I have all the seeding numbers. I may have reversed the Augie and Elmhurst. It could be the other way, 4-5. But we know those games happen. And then you're sitting there in Kenosha Friday, 5 p.m., and you will get the lowest of those seeds that's remaining, and Carthage will get the highest. I don't know if I'm saying lowest or highest the right way, but I think everyone knows what I mean. Um, and then the season kind of goes from there. Now we're in great shape. We're going to make the NCAA tournament. Right now as we speak in the NPI, we line up with Pool C number 7. There's 21 of those. If you lost Friday, you'd be in the NCAA tournament. I know that your goals though are not that. So talk about how you look at the season now, Harrison, with starting over, going to the conference tournament, heading to Kenosha.
Yeah. Um, it's obviously wasn't, what we wanted, not winning the CCIW outright. We wanted to win the CCIW outright. But that's in the past. We can't dwell on what's gone. But now us seniors have never cut a net, in the gym. We've never cut a net down. We've seen our net get cut down twice. And that has been in our minds for the past 4 years. And we want to cut a net down. And then especially Carthage, a team we've battled with over the past 4 years. We compete so hard against them. The games are great. And that's what we want to do. So whoever we play Friday, our goal is to get to Saturday. And then when Saturday comes, our goal is to be standing on that court with, the confetti and cutting the net down. So that's how we're preparing. That's how we're thinking about it.
Yeah, and not to get ahead of ourselves, I think we've had two really good games against Carthage this year that both very similar in that I think they shot the ball incredibly well. I think they made really difficult shots and in big moments. I think that we've had good moments in those Carthage games and not so good moments. Um, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves because we don't know who we're playing Friday, and we certainly, don't know who we're playing Saturday if we win. But when you look at Carthage, because they won the league, they are the outright champions. What do you take away from those two games this season against Carthage?
Yeah, I think the first game we played terrible. I think it was one of our worst, games this season. And then the second game, we just, I mean, it's hard because I can say we played terrible again, but there's no excuse. But we want to play Carthage. We want to play Carthage, a third time. Get another shot at them. And they're an incredible team, with so many great guys like Ryan Johnson, a great dude and a great basketball player. AJ, a phenomenal team and coached really well. And we love being able to compete against them. And I think if we get another shot at them, it'll be a great game. A lot of energy. And it'll be true, high caliber competition for D3. But that's who we want. That's who we're looking forward to. But it's one game at a time, of course, Friday first and then Saturday. But we're super excited for what lays ahead for us.
Then the NCAA tournament, I think that all that's changed in the last, few weeks is that, there's a while where it looked like after the first weekend, if we were to go on the road and survive, that maybe we could host a sectional second weekend. That's still in the cards, but it's becoming harder, right? With some
Mm-hmm.
of the losses. So let's just assume for a second that in the NCAA tournament, there's no free pass of playing at the Shirk Center. Most likely these games are on the road. Um, Not getting ahead of ourselves, but because the Titans are in such a great shape in the resume and the NPI, how do you look at then the NCAA tournament and kind of having to go on the road and play great teams and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's all about. Going into a hostile environment. It's not your home. It's not the Shirk Center. But you're with your team. You're with your boys. You're with your best friends. Um, with the journey you've been on, and then it's just leave it all on the court. Play for the guy next to you. Play for the freshmen. Play for the sophomores. Play for the juniors. Play for the my brothers, my senior class who I've been on this journey with, the coaches, and just leave it all on the court until the last second. Until the buzzer sounds. And I think if, this team can do that, which, we're very capable of and we want to, then we can make a really deep run. But, it's a large part of it's just staying in the moment, enjoying this journey, one game at a time, looking around every so often and being like, wow, this is incredible. But yeah.
Talk about that senior class. You mentioned kind of playing with those guys, and I was really happy that I was able to make it up to senior day and hear you guys speak. And I mean, really, just like an emotional evening, right? Just listening to you guys talk about your experiences and what's it been like playing with these five other guys. You have six guys in your class. You seem all very, very close and connected. What's it been like playing with those guys?
It's been the greatest experience of my life, Bob. And thank you for coming. It meant a lot to the team. It meant a lot to us to have you there, showing your support because you mean so much to this program, so much. But I tell you, it's been the best 4 years of my life, largely because of those five other guys, who I've got to experience this life with. And they're my best friends. I would do anything for them. I play on that court for them. Every time I take the court, it's for my guys. But the journey's been a roller coaster. So many ups and downs, so many, memorable memories. So many peaks and troughs where we're like, damn, like, what are we doing? Like, do we see like the future was so foggy, but we just kept grinding, kept working, because we knew what we wanted to do, and that was, to raise a banner for the school, for this program, and we love each other, and it makes it so special. But I can't imagine a world where I didn't meet these guys because it just clicked so naturally, and it's been the best 4 years ever. And I wouldn't change it for the world. I would not change it for the world. It's been an amazing, amazing journey.
It's very clear that you guys are close, both off the court. When you watch you guys play, it's very clear that you're close on the court. Like
Yeah.
that shows up all the time, and it's really
Hmm.
really cool. Um, Wanted to go backwards and ask you about picking Illinois Wesleyan. I remember hearing about this tall kid from St. Louis, this Harrison Wilmsen kid. I remember no one quite knew who else was on you, or I remember asking Coach Rose like who are the guys, and well, there's this 6'8" kid, down in St. Louis, or 6'9", whatever you were at the time. And how did you like, who was on you, Harrison, when you were a senior in high school? And you were a multi-sport guy. You were a record-setting quarterback. You played lacrosse. You were a basketball player. I'm just curious, like, who was on you and what schools were you considering?
Yeah. Yeah. So I was a multi-sport athlete. I loved competing. I grew up in a household. My brother was, a beast on the football gridiron. So I watched him. My sister was a field hockey athlete. So I just remember watching them and always wanting to be better than them. There was always like, Holden Wilmson, he has a brother. And it was, and like, could he be better than Holden? And I always wanted to be better than Holden, who's my older brother. But he was a beast. He taught me so many things. But it was largely, a football household. I loved football. I loved the pace of it. I loved the camaraderie. So I always thought I was going to play football. And then I would say, I played AAU basketball for Brad Beal for 2 years, playing against the best competition on the
Sure.
EYBL circuit, playing in front of like big time coaches. And that's when I was kind of like, I don't know if basketball is the best fit for me. Um, I loved it. I loved the journey. I made so many friends, who I now watch on TV in the NBA and in college basketball. But I just didn't know if that was it for me. So I decided to focus on football. But then of course COVID hit, so much uncertainty.
Yeah.
Junior days were all canceled. So I was like, dang, like what am I gonna do? And then all of a sudden, Ron Rose and Andy Etheridge call me. I come down to visit Illinois Wesleyan. I remember coming into the Shirk Center and then, pointing up at Jack Sigma's banner, Hall of Fame. I go, wow, this place is special. And then Coach Wagner came to talk to me, and I just knew kind of right then and there that, this was it. This was the place I wanted to be at, this community. And then I just did it. And it's the best decision. Obviously Roper committed too. So we were texting, and then Steve, Evan Schneider. And I just knew that, I had made the right choice. And what makes IWU so special is, not the basketball or, it's the people, the community, and, thinking back about all the relationships I've made, with the athletics department, with my professors, it's been the best decision I could have possibly made. And then just the backing of the community, the people who come to our games, every Wednesday and Saturday, who know my name, who give me, great game, Harrison. I mean, it's so special. But I wouldn't have changed anything. It was the perfect decision I could have made.
Harrison, talk about like Division 3 in general, because you could have played at other levels in other sports too. You decided to be an NCAA Division 3 student athlete. For people out there that might be maybe a little confused on what Division 3 is, I'm just curious, like what's been your impression about what it's like to be a D3 student athlete?
Yeah. So kind of during, the AAU, it was basketball was everything. Like it was everything. It was, it drove you. It was, and I knew that that kind of wasn't, what I wanted exactly. I wanted to continue to explore, different aspects of life, to kind of have a balance between finding my passion in life and then also competing on the hardwood. And Division 3 really spoke out because, I could pursue my passions and, my curiosities, kind of 50% of the time while also working really hard, competing with my best friends, playing for championships the other 50% of the time. And that's what really, kind of set the stone in place that I, could continue, exploring, finding new things that, kind of, make me, wow, that's cool, while also, competing for championships. So it was the perfect balance between the two. And, I, all the respect to the D1, my brother, D1 football player. And like that is insane. The dedication they have is truly, next to none. I just knew that I wanted, an outlet, more of an outlet to, explore life, find new things, find new passions. And that's what really drove, the D3 Illinois Wesleyan decision for me.
Do you have advice for current high school seniors that are getting recruited really hard for basketball? It could be other sports too, but you got a lot of kids out there right now that are getting recruited at a lot of different levels, like you were. Do you have advice for them in terms of like what's important in making their decision, how to sort this out? I think that's a relevant thing to ask people like you. I asked the other student athletes that I have on here the same question. What would you tell kids right now trying to make that tough decision?
Yeah. You know, it always seems so tough in the moment, but I think it's really simple. Often, in the moment, your mind is telling you all these different things. You're contemplating different scenarios, weighing different options. Is this the best fit for me? Is this what I really want? But really, I would just say follow your heart. The distinction between your mind and heart is, pretty big. And if your heart is telling you it's the right decision, this is where home is, this is where you see yourself, then do it. If that's D1, go be great. If that's D3, go be great. It doesn't really matter, you'll figure it out. But just follow your heart, because it'll lead you to where you want to go.
Just a great stuff, Harrison. Just a couple more things for you. I'm just curious what it's like sharing the Shirk Center with the women's basketball team. They finished the season 24-1, 15-1 in the league. I've gotten to talk to a lot of those hoopers on the QCast, gotten to know them a little bit. What an impressive group. Like, what's it like to have the Illinois Wesleyan women's team there, right, kind of alongside you guys?
I mean, they're phenomenal, and they're the real star of the show. Star of the show. I mean, they're our best friends. I mean, you talk about a 4-year journey. You know, they're right there with us. That senior class. And then our teams just mesh really well, but they're incredible. They work so hard. The dedication, the commitment they display. I mean, it really drives us. And, you know, they do often give us a hard time. They're kind of, you know, they're our biggest motivator. You know, they're always supporting us. But you know, they definitely tell us, you know, like, why did you lose that game? You know, like, I was like, I don't know. Like, I guess, you know, we weren't prepared, or like we just didn't, you know, but you know, they're amazing. They're awesome. They're so good to watch, so fun to watch. And like I have the utmost respect for that program. Like I said, you know, they're phenomenal. They're the star of the show. You know, I would say we're their little brother, but you know, we're both gonna go far in the NCAA double tournament, and you know, hopefully, you know, raise 2 banners for the basketball in the athletics department.
What's your plan next year, Harrison? So like first of all, what's your degree in at Illinois Wesleyan? And then like what do you think you're going to be doing next year?
Yeah, so I am currently a finance major, and I have a deep passion for public equities and then the private market. So just exploring all facets of that, you know, whether that might be, you know, underwriting or equity research, or I don't really know. You know, the future is pretty uncertain right now, and you know, I'm really focused on, you know, the basketball season, and because you know what we can do can with this team will echo in eternity with a banner. So, you know, that's really exciting. But you know, whatever happens, you know, I'm looking forward to it, and you know, I know I'm gonna follow my heart, so I'll be fine.
One final thing I wanted to ask you about, maybe two final things. Is first of all, physicality in Division 3. Like, I mean, I don't want to get into a conversation here about officials, but it seems like every team we play, like the scouting report is just like try to bully these guys as much as try to be as physical as you can against these guys, and especially you, and the way that you are defended. I mean, I watched this night in and night out from my little stream here in Dallas. And I'm like, holy cow, it's physical. And then I go to the game and I can't believe how physical these D3 games are. As the guy in the middle of it, Harry, the guy playing the 5, taking the brunt of this. What is the physicality like in Division 3?
It's physical. It's physical. You know, if there's one piece of advice I could tell recruits, it's hit the weight room hard. You know, hit the weight room hard. Get big, get strong, be athletic. But it's an honor, you know, to go into a game and have everyone, you know, hit you when you're rolling to the basket. You know, I've worked my whole life in the weight room to, you know, be at this point. So, you know, I take it with great pride. And it's something I think is valuable for our team when, you know, you have a 5 who's super physical and, you know, willing to do anything for his teammates. So that's what I try to bring to the team. But D3 is physical. You know, it is physical. And sometimes the calls will go against you. Sometimes the calls will go for you. You just have to keep playing. Yeah.
I should have mentioned earlier to the folks tuning in, Harrison's having another great year. 10 points, 6 rebounds a game. He's shooting 57% from the field and 43% from three as a 6'10, 240 guy, which is amazing. He's doing this all in 20 minutes a game. 20. And that's my last question for you, Harrison, is I love the platoon of you and Marko at the 5. And I think it's so
Hmm.
cool because what people don't know that aren't close to the program is how close you two are. And I would think people would be like, oh, they must be mad at each other because they're splitting these 40 minutes 2020, and they both probably think they should be playing 32. What is that dynamic like with Marko? I just find it fascinating. Like Ron's able to put in you in a situation, Marko in a situation based on the matchup. What's that like?
I mean, first of all, it's, you know, the greatest thing ever to to have one of your best friends, you know, the other 5, and then your 4 other, you know, 3 other best friends, you know, in the starting rotation or coming off the bench. The best thing ever. But Marko is incredible. I think we all know that he is incredible. The way he rebounds, the way he's physical, like he plays like it's his last game every night, night in, night out. It doesn't matter who we're playing, you know, what the competition is. he's willing to give it all. And to see that, it just makes me play harder. And they like people ask like is it a problem? Like you asked, like, is it a problem that you split time with Marco? No, absolutely not. Like I love the kid. He's way better than me in certain aspects of the game. And then I bring my different aspects of the game, different qualities that can help the team. So I've never thought about it like that. I've only thought about it as in like play him more. I can sit on the bench or something because I absolutely love him and I love his game. But it's an honor to be able to go to war every night with your best friend backing you up and your four other best friends playing with you. So yeah.
I'll ask you for your final thoughts here. What I would say, Harrison, is first of all, I think people that aren't watching the game closely may not understand how much attention you command from the other team. There was a play, the first North Central game, the one at the Shirk Center earlier. There was a play in the first half where you scored a basket, and I had to go back and watch it 2 times. There were 4 Cardinals draped on you at that moment. There were 4 guys going up with you when you scored. And I think you're the focus point. I really do of opposing teams scouting report because they have to figure out what to do with you first and then they can kind of go from there. And that is such a big part of what makes our team so tough is that people have to figure out the Harrison problem first and then it's like, okay, what do we do with Roper and Hakeem and all this stuff? But you've been a real warrior, Harrison. You've gotten so much better from the time again not getting off the bench in the yeshiva game to being this guy that is the guy as a senior. It's been great to watch you develop. You've been a great leader.
Thank you.
I know this season there's everything's in front of you right now, man. The whole
Yes,
thing's
sir.
in front of you. Everything you guys are dreaming about starts now.
Hmm.
So I really wish you the best of luck. It was cool to see you win the free throw challenge in the backyard. You know,
Yeah.
you got in the finals there with I think it was with rope, wasn't it? Was it with rope?
Yep. Yeah.
And you missed the first one, and you had to make 9 in a row. And so it
Uh-huh.
was an honor to have you in the back driveway winning the contest. Harrison, what would you leave people with today? You're going to have Titan Nation tuning in. I know your family's tuning in for sure. I think you'll have D3 Nation in general want to hear what you have to say. What would you leave us
Hmm.
with today, Harrison?
Well, Bob, first of all, thank you for everything you have done
Of
personally
course.
to advance D3 sport, to advance the Titan program. But, to Titan Nation, to the D3 community, it's been my greatest honor to be able to compete for the Titan program and then compete against your D3 Nations programs. And I hope, I've been, a good competitor, one that's been fun to watch. And, I'm so thankful to have learned so many lessons with this incredible game at this incredible institution, Illinois Wesleyan. Um, and just, I can't wait for what the future holds. And I will always give back to, this amazing institution and to D3 Hoops because it has shaped me into the man I am today. And just thank you for everyone's support. It means the world.
Well, very well said, Harrison. And again, it's I've been really excited to get a chance to talk to you here on the show, and really huge kudos for what you said during Senior Day at the Shirk Center. I just thought you're so well spoken, and the things you said just hit home so close. So kudos to you. I know that game yesterday was super tough,
Hmm.
and I'm really excited about the chance for you guys to get back after it Friday and then hopefully Saturday and then
Yes,
NCAA
sir.
tournament time, right? So,
Yes,
folks,
sir,
that's
Bob.
Harrison Wilmsen. He's a 6'10, 240 beast. He's a senior forward for Illinois Wesleyan. The Titans are 20-5 as they head into the CCIW tournament. Harrison, thanks so much. And I will see you somewhere in a gym very soon, my friend.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you so much.